story out front tonight. Drugs known as bath salts being blamed for a gruesome scene in Miami. This is a naked man. He was shot dead on Saturday by police because he was gnawing off another man's face. Obviously, that sounds horrific, and it is. I want to warn you that the pictures we're about to show you are very disturbing. 31-year-old Rudy Eugene was described to be in a zombie-like state when he was caught by police. Armando Aguilar, president of the Miami Fraternal Order of Police, suspects Eugene was under the influence of so-called bath salts, which are sold as cocaine substitutes or synthetic LSD. When he was found, what he had done to this man's face, the victim was 65 years old, truly horrific. Apparently all that's left is his goatee. His eyeballs were gone, his face. It is unbelievable.
Now a similar case over the weekend in Lafayette Parish.
During the attack, the suspect bit a chunk of the victim's face off.
Police say 43-year-old Carl Jacquenot knew the victim and was upset over a domestic issue. This is where the attack took place, in front of the victim's house. He was out doing work in his yard. And while he declined an on-camera interview, Todd Crater says he was shocked when he was bitten in the face. Crater says he sprayed wasp spray in Jacquenot's face to try and stop the attack. That's when police say Jacquenot left, only to show up at another man's house in Karen Crow, where he held him at knife point and stole a handgun. It was there that deputies caught up with Jacquenot and arrested him. Sheriff's deputies say Jacquenot was clearly under the influence of some kind of drug. A friend of the victim says she believes he was using bath salts.
Now, Florida police say this 21-year-old man, Brandon DeLeon, tried to bite an officer in a drug-fueled rage. Here's what he told the judge.
Say something, Your Honor. I have no recollection of anything that happened that night.
And now, the Marine Corps Times is reporting the use of bath salts is a growing problem among members of the American military. What kind of word would we use for this? Is this an epidemic? How common is this?
It's becoming increasingly common. I think what's motivating it more than anything else, the people that use these substances use them to get around urine toxicology screens. It's really what's motivating it. So environments such as the military, where people can get in big trouble for using substances, people who have employers who check their urine, these are environments where someone is likely to go to the smoke shops and buy spice or bath salts. It's so easy to get in this state, in California, Aaron. I walked up the street and bought bath salts. It's a couple hundred yards from here. I can get bath salts and spice. My staff did it. Wow. And I thought, wow, I want to see how easy that is. And it was, you walk in, you show your ID to make sure you're over 18, and they hand you the bath salts. But I want to emphasize to people that there's nothing about baths or salts involved in these substances. This isn't Calgon. This is a drug that is designed to get people high and not be detected in the urine toxicology screen.
It's clearly not what it's designed for. It's clearly not really for taking a bath. We know that.
And make no mistake, the reason these things are so difficult to regulate is the people that manufacture these things add a methyl group or change the molecule slightly so it becomes impossible to regulate and outlaw. Exactly how this affects the brain, we don't even know yet, but we certainly know the consequences. It's basically to help people understand the effects. It's like adding LSD to PCP to methamphetamine. Those are sort of the effects we're seeing. They're rapidly addictive. They cause an excited delirium where people have no insight to what they're doing. They're disconnected from reality and they become violent. This more recent rash of cannibalistic behaviors, this sort of oral aggression we're seeing, may be something related to this increasing epidemic of bath salts, or perhaps the reason we're hearing about this more now, perhaps they've changed the molecule slightly, that it has caused this characteristic behavior. Whatever it is, it's dangerous. People don't know they're doing it. They have no insight, and it is bizarre and violent.
And why isn't there a drug test available for this at this point?
Primarily, it's that we can't keep up with it. The same reason they can't be regulated. They're changing the molecule ever so slightly all the time to be sure that it can't be detected and to be sure that we can't get on top of it and regulate it. So it is something that people that produce these things and use it know is the goal, the end game here is to prevent from detection.
My understanding is that the Eugene had been at some sort of a music festival. The police there had said that these bath salts were sort of something people were doing. Is this something that's spreading, that you're hearing more and more about? I mean, I'm just thinking back to the days when, meth and meth heads was just sort of an occasional story you heard coming out of the Midwest, and then all of a sudden became a national crisis.
Absolutely. Over the past year, we've heard more and more, and I've had more and more patients with this type of issue. So they're out there. I think there's going to be a ban, if there isn't already, in the availability of them until the studies can be done and tests can be developed. But yes, we're hearing more about it.
The tiny container, typically priced at $20, may seem a dead giveaway that the substance isn't for a relaxing soak in the tub. But check out what's really inside. Before last week's ban, we purchased the product, then partnered with the ABC station in Orlando and sent several samples out for testing. All came back positive for either mephedrone or MDVP, which experts say is similar to the synthetic chemicals in the drug ecstasy and is responsible for the most dangerous reactions.
Agitation, hallucinations, potential for seizures.
But the lab revealed more. Additives including hallucinogens, muscle relaxants, anticonvulsants, antidepressants, even anti-Parkinsonians.
They're not pure, and they contain a lot of contaminants.
Would there be any way to argue that it would make sense to put this stuff in a real bath salt?
There would be no reason to use this in a bath.
Lost a lot of weight, very skinny, and started losing hair. Started looking like I was sick.
Using once a week turned to once a day.
Basically killing myself with this stuff.
Because she felt like she was losing her mind.
It's just like you'll see like birds or dogs like dancing or something weird like that. Like weird, but it's scary.
Big County 911. What's going on?
What's your name? What's up? Can you tell me what your name is? Really? Wow. Do we know what our name is? Hmm?